Open your mind and journey through the cosmos of the universe. This is Bridging Realms with Dr. Gene Carlisle and False Freedom 691.
Welcome to another edition of Bridging Realms. I am False Freedom 691.
And I'm Dr. Gene Carlisle.
Today we are going down a rabbit hole that is, we've covered in brief on the show, but we want to take a deep dive into now.
Right, we've talked about extraterrestrials before. We've talked a lot about extraterrestrials on this show, but we want to talk about a specific type of extraterrestrial, one that is very popular in conspiracy culture and possibly controlling the Earth or affecting humankind as we know it.
We are talking, of course, about the Reptilian Elite, the Reptilian Overlords.
Right, I'm sure you see it everywhere online. You see it in popular culture. It's become kind of a joke, you know. These lizard people or reptilians, you know, controlling everybody, or the politicians are reptilians, you know. There's lizard people inside of you. It's kind of everywhere, and to an extent, as a ufologist, sometimes I take offense to it when people are making jokes, but then sometimes I get it, you know. It seems kind of crackpot. It seems kind of fucking crazy for there to be lizard people everywhere, you know. But on the other hand, I understand why it's awkward at the family dinner table, you know, if you start bringing up how you feel that a lot of celebrities are possibly, you know, lizard people from an ancient bloodline.
Yeah, I think we've all been there, having the classic lizard person discussion at the dinner table, you know, just you and mom sitting down for a nice dinner, and, you know, mom just yammering on about Betsy and what Betsy's doing, and about Betsy with the two needles, and Betsy's knitting, and that's all we talk about at dinner is the thing that Betsy's knitting, and maybe I should date Betsy, and Betsy's 50 years older than me, Mom. Betsy's 50 years older than me. And then I just have to stand up and I have to be like, open your fucking eyes, Mom. Open your goddamn eyes to what's really going on and quit talking about fucking Betsy for once.
Your mom really does need to open her eyes on some of this stuff, and also realize how old Betsy is. I've met Betsy personally, listeners, and not to be rude, but she's ancient, man. She's probably not long for this world, but I really wish your mom would open up to the reptilian theory. You know, I've felt that same kind of awkwardness trying to put that out there. You know, everybody this holiday season was all about Epstein around the dinner table. Everybody was bringing up Epstein and getting awkward, but back in the day, it was reptilians. You know, it was UFOs. It was, you know, well, 9/11 for a while. False ruined a couple of different like parties that I had at my place, bringing up 9/11 when everybody was mainly just into UFOs. But you know, that's the truth that he likes to expose. That was, you know, one reason I knew I got to team up with this guy. He really knows how to turn a room, you know. I've got to team up with this guy. He's done the research. He had his whole bit of research just, you know, at the palm of his hand, ready to go to bust out at a party, you know. And I know you listeners, there's probably a lot of you out there that are like that. False knows what I'm talking about. You've got your dossier, you've got your notes, you've got your stuff ready to show people the truth.
Yeah, and you've always got to be ready to show people the truth, or you're never going to wake those fucking assholes up.
That's right, and we're hoping to keep giving you guys the tools to show people truth. That's one tip right there. have your shit ready. Have notes on your phone, Google Docs, have photos of documents. Like last week, we talked about time travelers. It's good. I've seen False going around with photos of time travelers on his phone, like showing people in public, look at this photo. This is from the early 1900s. This man clearly has a cell phone. How do you not fucking see this with your fucking eyes,
Yeah. Take in a bathroom stall, and where it says, for a good time, call, and it's got, some girl or guy's phone number.
Right.
Cross that out and put the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, and you're going to delve into a rabbit hole on that one. Most people believe that the reptilians evolved on Earth and were able to discover and kind of master intergalactic travel. And so they traveled along the galaxies collecting knowledge to eventually come back here to rule the humans who had evolved.
So these reptilians have supposedly infiltrated most world governments, like they've got themselves strategically placed throughout to control the world. And there is a conspiracy out there that all the presidents and leaders of major world countries are from these reptilian bloodlines.
Yeah, all coming from the exact same bloodline, which it does feel like it would have to be an interspecies thing. It doesn't feel like everyone would be from the same bloodline, just kind of willy-nilly spread throughout the world,
Right, and that would be incest, They'd have to keep it in the family, which is pretty gross and would seem to... we know in humans, at least, that messes with your genetics, and you can have some birth defects and such with keeping it in the family.
Dr. Gene speaks fully for himself on this topic. I've got some pretty hot cousins I would smash, so... if you're listening to this, definitely Dr. Gene speaking for himself on the subject of incest being disgusting.
And that's, no judgment there. I think we all have, an attractive cousin or two, or maybe, an aunt or an uncle or something that you've thought about, but you don't do it. You don't act upon it. False, he, I guess, would act upon it if those cousins made the move. But if it's like second or third, I think you're okay, dude.
It's first cousins. We're a tight-knit family. First cousin. So there's the reptilian hierarchy, of course, and there are two different types. There are purebloods and there are crossbreeds.
Okay, crossbreeds, of course, sounds like what it is. It's the hybridization of these reptilians with another race. Most likely here on Earth, humans, right?
Right.
Human beings. The reptilians have probably, my guess, and through my research, have been fucking human beings for a long time.
Yeah, so the reptilians are actually able to cause vibrations in your mind, the full-bloods. They can cause vibrations in your mind, and that just makes them look like a normal, everyday human.
Right there. Their abilities, their mind abilities, so much more advanced than ours right there. They can project that into your mind with these vibrations to make you see this sexy human body, right?
Hey, I'd really like to relay a story this is making me think of that was a recent Reddit post. The post is titled, "Strange Encounter with a Person Just Now, Lower Manhattan." It's written by user Zeosynthesis.
What subreddit is this on?
This is on the Alien subreddit.
All right, we are pretty active on Reddit. Just lurkers from our personal accounts now, but we're gonna soon get Bridging Realms on Reddit. We're gonna be interacting with you guys, getting on our aliens, our conspiracy, our paranormal, many different subreddits. So,
our MILF.
Whatever you want, yeah. Get on there and interact with us. We'll bridge some realms. We'll bridge all the realms of the subreddits.
All right, I'm going to read this post. This literally just happened 10 minutes ago. Okay, so this is going to sound absolutely bonkers. Just walked out of the Starbucks on Broadway and Bond and stopped to text, standing near a group of 3 people that were talking to each other. A guy comes and stands directly in front of all of us. They look confused and move to let the guy walk past, but he just stands there. He then started up a conversation, and his voice was the most relaxing voice I have ever heard in my life. Like an instant wave of something came over me, and I had to listen. Hey, how are you guys? I want to show you guys something you will think about for the rest of the day. They awkwardly said okay, and he looked at me as if to confirm I was part of it too. Freaky part. He asked us to describe what he looked like. That's it. I want each of you to describe what I look like to you. He pointed at me and said, you first. I told him what I saw. A white man, about 6 feet tall, brown, full of head of hair, dressed pretty normal for New York, clean shaven. I noticed as I was talking, some of the group were laughing at what I was saying, and I wasn't sure why. He pointed to person number 2. They start describing. Black guy, goatee, short, dreads, backpack, jacket, and cargo pants on. I looked over, confused, thinking the person was just being stupid, but they seemed as serious as I was. The friends chuckled when he was describing the person as well. Person number 3, Asian guy, short-cut hair, clean-shaven, blue suit, briefcase, black peacoat, was the description she gave. While we all stared, looking confused at each other, the guy was just standing there smiling the whole time. Person 4, blonde, tall white guy, beard, headphones on, Under Armour workout gear with a thin Columbia jacket. The friends were asking each other why they said what they said, thinking we were all just giving any dumb old answer, and they all said that's exactly what the man looked like to them. I even spoke up and said I wasn't kidding and that I had no idea what was going on. The guy said, see? There are things right in front of our faces every day, but we are so caught up with life to notice them. Then he said, you guys take care, and walked away. This all happened in the span of about 3 minutes. How can 4 people describe the same person as being entirely different, even different races? I don't know if he hypnotized all of us or something, which is what we discussed after he walked away. I've heard of people being hypnotized and not even realizing it. I'm not sure I believe it as a real thing, though. What do you guys think's happened? Mass hallucination? A chemical in the air? I'm going to go on record and say I think reptilian.
Dude, that sounds exactly like what we were talking about, where they can make different people see different things. I mean, we've seen this in sci-fi a lot with with aliens, but as you know, our media is sometimes predictive. It sometimes shows truths to us. These artists are reading these depictions just like we are online.
Yeah. It just feels so much like the vibrations we're hearing about there. Like the vibrations could cause them all to see something separate, and nobody would know any better. Nobody's gonna really even comment on it unless it's drawn to their attention.
No, dude. You could totally be fooled by one of these things. They could be right in front of you. And later in the episode, we'll show you how to discern from a regular human and a reptilian, how to spot these things out in your everyday life, your natural habitat, and theirs, because they could be fucking living among you. And we'll possibly talk about some reptilian experiences that me and False may have had.
Yeah, we've had the kind of experiences that would blow your fucking mind, that's for sure. That's for sure, with all varieties of what I suspect to be reptilians.
And if you've encountered any of these reptilian beings, please send us stories. We would love to feature it on the podcast. We will read it word for word, literally fucking anything you send in to us. We will read word for word to get this stuff out there, get it to the podcast, and to share people's experiences.
So next up, we're going to move into the realm of suspected reptilians. Really, the whole presidential bloodline is kind of suspected of being reptilian, and reason being because they're all coming from the same bloodline.
Right. This conspiracy theory has been out there for a little bit. If these reptilians have infiltrated human beings, a lot of people think they have this bloodline, this royal bloodline, and all the presidents are connected. They're all reptilians, they are all related, and they are all controlling us. I don't know if I believe this. I don't know if I believe that presidents like Obama are, lizards or not. I don't think they're lizard people. I don't get that vibe. I know False has some different opinions, especially when it comes to the Clintons, on whether they are reptilians. But I'm not getting the reptilian vibe from some of the most popular reptilian suspects on the internet.
I don't think. I mean, if you're going to believe the theories out there, Michelle Obama is a man. So basically, we have a coupling of a lizard who wanted to marry a man who's a woman. Man who's a woman. A lizard marrying a man who's a woman.
That's actually about one of the most progressive things I've ever heard you say, to call Michelle Obama a woman, rather than call her like a trans woman, or you would never give her that kind of respect. But regardless, I mean, I know she is a woman, and I think Obama is a human man. I think he is a human man. I'll sway with you on the Clintons. Mm-hmm. I'll sway with you on the Clintons because Hillary does have some reptilian qualities, but I'm still not convinced. Not totally.
Speaking of Hillary, there was no way she was going to be president anyway, because she is not a part of the presidential bloodline.
So, reptilian or not, she's not in that bloodline, and Trump is. I mean, he's president, so he has to be in that reptilian bloodline if he's president of the United States, and we're to believe that all of them are a part of this same reptilian family bloodline.
So that's not the only reptilian bloodline that is famous. There are actually 13 reptilian bloodlines, and they make up the Illuminati.
The fuck?
Yeah, for example, you've got Pindar, who is the head of the Rothschild family. So he's got a bloodline all to himself. Pindar does.
Okay, I've heard about that motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
I've heard about him being kind of the reptilian overlord.
Yeah, exactly. Pindar, Pinnacle of Draco is what it's short for, and he's a purebred.
Yeah, we do know that is another word for reptilians. They are also known as draconians, which frankly sounds pretty badass to be called draconians. If they were called that back in the Dark Ages and stuff, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool now too. It's really just a pretty sweet name in general.
I think actually in conversation, when I'm talking to people now, I'll probably start referring to them as draconians instead of reptilians, or at the very least maybe like draconian reptilians or something. I feel like that's what I'm going to call them from now on.
So there are the 13 families, and all of the 13 families are completely pure blood, but there are supporting families called the Committee of 300 supporters for the Illuminati, and they are not pure blood. Now, these are the crossbreeds.
Okay, these hybrids, we've heard about these, the hybrids with humans, right?
Yeah, and they support the Illuminati by controlling the CIA, the FBI, the mafia, just all the big organized crime organizations like that.
And that's what these reptilians are here to do. I mean, we ask these questions, why would reptilians infiltrate humans and hide among us, And it's for this control,
Yeah.
They're full of hate. They want to feed off our negative energy, we've heard. And so they want to hide among us and just feed off our shit.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring it as a point to feed. That is what they actually eat. That's how they sustain life of the reptilians. They feed on our fear, anger, jealousy, just all our negative emotions. That's how they live.
And that's one reason we're doing this episode right now, to you listeners. Know that we know like what you're going through. This world is fucking crazy right now, and we've got so much fear, so much negative energy going on, that if you believe this reptilian conspiracy, which we kind of do here at the Bridging Realms Project, it's definitely one that I'm open to. False is pretty deep into it.
Yeah,
what we're saying here is these reptilians in 2020, they're feasting, man. They're having a fucking buffet is what they're having on our negative energy and our fear. And that's what the octopus of global control, this Illuminati, this deep state, that's what they're doing to us. They're instilling this fear. They're getting into our media, into our culture and our society. It's all fear and hate, It's all negative energy.
Yeah, it almost feels like the coronavirus is just like the next step. The coronavirus is to gain worldwide panic, while everybody in the U.S. is in a panic anyway all the time because of the presidential situation, the impeachment, all of that. So now you got the coronavirus spreading through the world. You got the wildfires in Australia. It's just a constant state of fear and panic.
So much negative energy going on that these things have got to be just eating it up. They're just, gluttons, just fucking munching on our negative energy assholes. So really, my challenge to you, the listener, if you want to fight this, is stay positive, keep a positive energy, appreciate the universe, send those positive vibes out into the universe. And if you're vibing on those positive vibes, the universe will repay that. There are extraterrestrials out there that are good, that are not reptilians. There are, benevolent beings out there that will vibe those energies back to you. They are here to protect us. They do love us, unlike these reptilians who are, out for hate and control. There are extraterrestrials out there that wish for us to be free.
Yeah.
So definitely try to vibe with them. Try to bridge that realm and stay positive, because the reptilians definitely want your negative energy.
Another way to put positive energy in the world, I got a pro tip. Try to suck your own dick. Just try to bend over, contort yourself, get your cock in your mouth, and work your head up and down. Just, slob on your own knob and finish. Get the joy.
What would you suggest for our female listeners?
I don't know, like finger their butt or something.
So, False, let's talk how to spot a reptilian. I want the listeners to know how they could see one in public if they were to encounter someone that they expected was one. What are the telltale signs here?
Definitely the eye color.
Right.
So if you see somebody with, let's say, green eyes,
Green eyes, okay.
or let's say maybe brown eyes,
They can have brown eyes, okay.
maybe blue eyes,
Sometimes blue.
maybe like a nice hazel color.
Hazel, that's interesting, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so these are the possible eye colors of the reptilians. I've heard also that they can have their eyes can distort, and they can have distorted teeth at times. Is that right?
Yeah, and they can blink sideways.
Yeah, we watched a lot of YouTube videos. You should go down this rabbit hole, spend some time in your work day, or driving to work. Just look up some YouTube videos, and you can see these celebrities. Their faces change at times when you put it in slow motion.
Yeah.
Some diligent researchers, people out there doing the good work, are slowing down these videos and showing these people's eyes and faces, morph. They're shape-shifting right in front of us.
Yeah, for sure they are. And again, it's those typical politicians, and you see a lot of it, people that dominate the recording industry. So Eminem is a very common shape-shifting video. Beyonce, very common. Jay-Z, very common shape-shifting videos. You can find these readily available.
Right, these are possibly reptilians, folks. I mean, that's out there. That's out there on the internet a lot. I don't know if they are reptilians. If they are, I will say, reptilians can be super fucking talented. Maybe they're hybrids, but a lot of these, they have talent. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they can spit.
Really good songs.
I don't care for reptilian music. Moving on. Let's get into our encounters with possible reptilians. Last year, on our way out to Contact in the Desert, we ran into someone who's, I feel, could be reptilian associated. We stopped by a 7-Eleven, and I realized I left all my change in the car. As the listener may or may not know, I only pay in change for things. I'd left all my change in the car, and so I couldn't get my big gulp Mountain Dew slushy that I would then pour a Rockstar into. I couldn't get that. So I met this woman, and she had a big gulp, and some might say I was harassing her for a drink of it. I was kind of demanding it. I was being a little rough on her. You might say I was pushing her around a little bit. Give me a drink of that fucking big gulp. You gonna drink that whole big gulp, you fucking lush, huh? Give me the big gulp. Give me the big gulp. And so it went on like that for a while, and then finally she was like, well, I'll give you a drink of the big gulp, but you both have to come to the bathroom with me, right? Right, dog?
Yeah, I walked up kind of halfway through this. I was actually in the restroom of the 7-Eleven, and I came out, and False was, in a shoving match with a woman. And, kind of shouting at her to give him a drink of the fucking big gulp. And it's not the first time, I've caught False in a, shoving match with a woman or a person in general. But it was pretty intense there.
Yeah, so she led us to the bathroom. I talked Dr. Jean into coming with us because I was fucking parched.
Yeah, I went in there.
We were not going to stop again.
No, yeah, we were running late. We had to get there.
Yeah, we were running late. So we go into the bathroom with her, and there's this guy just on the ground, and he's got a needle in his arm, and he's shot up heroin, and he's probably overdosed, And I just think they were both reptilians.
Yeah, I got some reptilian vibes from her that once you told me about it later, when I got the time to kind of think about it and really think about her face and the way her eyes looked and stuff. I think she was cracked out also, especially seeing, the guy in the bathroom that was clearly, doing heroin and stuff. He might have been dead. It didn't look like he was moving much, so I did kind of pay attention to him for a second. Didn't catch any reptilian qualities there because I was more picking up a dead vibe, but with the lady, kind of creepy. I mean, her eyes were pretty darty. They were pretty dilated. They at times seemed like they were taking a reptilian shape. That whole trip, we met some strange people. It felt like we were, getting followed on the way to contact in the desert. And we are kind of, reluctant to go again this year. We might be heading out there. We might not. We had some strange encounters on the way there. We also had pulled over for a hitchhiker, which we usually do not do, but I had fallen asleep and False decided to do it.
Yeah, I was driving and Dr. Jean had passed out, and we see a hitchhiker that it's another woman, and I would not describe her as attractive. Doesn't mean I wouldn't have sex with her. If she's listening to this right now, I would. I would have sex with her. But I think it is important that I point out to her that I don't find her attractive. I think that's very important.
And I felt like you pointed out that to her then. Like, I definitely remember that being stated.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I led off with, get in, I'll fuck you, but you don't look too good.
Right. Yeah, and I remember I kind of came to during the negotiations on whether you guys would fuck or not. And I think I actually picked up on the reptilian vibes first here.
Yeah.
Because she was looking kind of shifty and stuff, and I did not trust this. False was very into wanting to fuck this stranger that we had picked up on the side of the road. And, I asked, like, what her destination was, and she's like, oh, yeah, where you guys are going. Yeah, I'm going to contact in the desert as well.
Yeah.
And then, then she just straight up was like, yeah, I'm a fucking reptilian. And she said it, which was then a big indicator to us that she straight up said, I'm a reptilian, and I'm going to go to contact in the desert with you. Huge red flag for me. Yeah. I immediately, I'm like, False, we got to get her the fuck out of here. We cannot be taking a reptilian to contact in the desert. I mean, what are we going to get fucking Dr. Stephen Greer killed or something? Like, right. No way, dude.
So, at that point, we set out to make her prove she was a reptilian. We sat in that car for 2.5 days waiting for her to transform. And she told us she transformed a couple of times.
Right. It was a very similar experience. If you've seen this episode, it's one of False's favorite programs, Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
Jesse the Body Ventura. And he has an episode where they talk to a reptilian who transforms on screen, on camera, on this episode of Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, but it was exactly like that in that the transformation that happened was invisible to the human eye.
It's too fast.
Yeah.
It's simply too fast for the naked eye, for the naked human eye to see and to comprehend. So we don't know that she transformed, and we tried it every which way. We thought maybe the clothes were hindering her transformation, so she got naked for us. And we watched her naked for a while, still only looking like a naked human woman and not a reptilian. We had to do, for research, we had to do the research here. So, False, went ahead and gave her a good feel, a good pat down, a good squeeze of her breasts and her naked female butt, and he checked everything, and everything checked out. It did not seem like a reptilian to me.
Right. We actually ended up not having sex because we just thought it was too much of an anomaly that she would actually agree to have sex with me.
Yeah, I remember that. It was too easy. You lost your boner.
Bridging Realms is a part of the Bridging Realms Network in association with the Bridging Realms Project, with additional support provided by realmies like you.